learned a lot of my world building from reading the great fantasy and science fiction writers like Anne McCaffrey, for example, who just built this incredible world. But some of them, used to use the apostrophe names quite a lot, and so all my names had apostrophes when I started out. And then it became way too hard to keep all the apostrophes straight, so just as apostrophes went away. Might put some of it back in the science fiction thing if I ever finish it. Okay, next. Yes?
How do you balance life and your writing, your career?
How do I balance life and my career? I don't. Totally imbalanced. No, I'm serious. Probably until about a year ago, I wrote every day, including weekends, and or maybe 2-3 years. Yeah. And there's a couple more years back. Anyway, so I did, and I didn't really see my friends and stuff, and then a few things happened, and one of them was I lost a very dear friend, and I was lucky that I had actually seen her recently, and I realized then that I had to make time for the people in my life, because they might not be there the next day, and and so then I did make a conscious decision to balance myself, and I'm much more I'd reach out to my friends and say, hey, let's go to dinner, all of that kind of stuff, and make time for other people. So yeah, these days I usually take weekends off, and spend time with people in the week as well. But I always have to do it consciously, because writing is such a compulsion for me that, like tomorrow, I'm going to be locked in my hotel room working, because I need to finish proofing the next rock book. And so I think I'm getting better with the balance as I get older and more mature. I think at the start, a lot of it was that becoming a writer, is a hard slog. There's a lot of rejections and getting things right. And so when I did it, I just really had to focus on it to keep it going and keep the books going. Yeah. Oh no. And you're wearing such a bright dress, everyone can see it. So these days, I block time out for things. Like I block time out to come and do the conferences and do those events and have a little vacation as well. So I'm thinking in my vacation, I'm going to start sketching out things. But that makes me happy, so I think that's okay. And when I go back, I'm going to be having movie night with friends and stuff, so that'll be good. Yeah. Right, next. Yes?
When you go into writing series, and you know that it's going to be a series, and you have a determined kind of an arc, do you try and in advance say that you want to finish a series, in 20 books or in 30 books, or does it I'll just leave that open, or do you try to have a kind of a book end goal?
I never know how many books it's going to take to tell a story.
Just infinite writing.
Yeah, so it's not infinite. It's more like until the story's done, I'll write until then. And for example, I know the Guild Hunter series will be shorter than the Sky Changeling series, just because of the way it's set up, and it has a core cast, and I don't want to move away from that core cast. And so when that story is done, it'll be done, and I can feel it. I'll know when it's done, and. So while I don't have a specific number, I do know the end points. When I started the Sky Changeling series, I thought the end point would be the Fall of Silence, right? And when I got there, actually halfway through the book, as I was getting there, I realized, you can't actually finish there, because there's this whole bunch of unanswered questions and problems, and so it was like one idea, and then it developed as that idea came to fruition. But with the Guild Hunter series, I really think it will be a single arc. And when it's done, I will cry. I will cry. But sometimes I think series do need to finish, because it's better to have something beautiful and short than to keep it going and have something that is no longer satisfying. Yes.